Okay. Bore da, Rhian. Hello, Rhian.
Bore da, Josh. And thank you so much for the invitation this morning. And bore da to everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. And we got there in the end.
Yes.
So thank you for your time. We're going to do a little recording just on the work that you guys have been doing. Yeah. It's going to be a kind of a short, rather informal 10 minutes, and you're happy for the slides to be shared with the network afterwards. Yes. Am I right in thinking?
Yeah, very indeed. So, and if any questions, if anybody wants to email me or any questions further to the research, brilliant. I would welcome any comments, please, and anything to further my research in the future. Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll share your presentation now.
Thank you.
That's the right one.
So I'm just going to ask for request remote control, please. Thank you. There we are.
Okay, I think we're there. So yes. Over to you, Rhian.
Okay, thank you. So before the slideshow, I'd just like to explain there is a caution warning on here on the content caution, because this is a very, very sensitive and emotional and emotive subject and theme. Therefore, everything that will be discussed here are from the living experience of individuals giving care at the moment in North Wales. And I know we are all touched in some way or form of individuals giving care. You know, we ourselves maybe, or we know of friends and family care who do this work, which is the invisible side of caring. So that's really the beginning. So please look after yourself, and self-care really important when you're listening. So the title of my research was looking at developing knowledge and understanding on the real meaning of different caring activities and that impact on the identity of individuals giving care, or unpaid carers, as we are told, Welsh Government's giving the new title to us now. Okay, is this moving? Yes. So the rationale, a little bit on why I did the research and my objectives, the findings, and then I'd like to introduce you to this care identity model that came from the research, and then the impact then of the toolkit for hopefully policy and practice in the future. Oh, right, is it moving? As you may well know, the census told us in 2021, but this is the tip of the iceberg, really. 10.5% of the population in Wales are unpaid carers. So this is much higher. Oh, is it going up? That's moved now, sorry. Oh. Why is it going back? Sorry, what's happened here now? It's moving on its own. Sorry, Josh, what's happened here? Oh.
Oh, it was all going too well. I may have messed things up there, Rhian. Sorry, I moved our toolbar just so people can see it, but maybe.
Oh, so it's not moving for me now. Do I have to request again? Okay, so you can. Okay. No, it's saying I can do it. Oh, what's happened now?
It's just being a bit slow.
Can you?
If I could, do you need me to move us along?
Yeah, just to the second slide. There we are. Can't move it.
And just let me know when you need.
Yeah, one back again. Sorry, where are we? One back again. Oh, and the back again. It went on its own, didn't it? Oh, and another one. So this is the first slide, I think, wasn't it? One again. Oh, yeah, here we are. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. So 58% of individuals. Oh, it's moving again. Why is it jump? Yeah, 58% of the caring population are women. So here we need to look at and really target and approach women and ask these curious questions. You know, what kind of help are we doing? You know, what kind of care is going on? And this age group as well, this is the target age group most likely to give care, 55 to 59. So 1 in 5 women in Wales. And again, as we say, this is the tip of the iceberg. What about all the other hidden, lost individuals giving care? And also the amount of care. So 45% provide care for more than 35 hours a week, which is really, really, you know, kind of full-time caring, isn't it? And above, of course. So I'll try to move. Okay, let's try. Yes, okay. So the rationale for the research links to the Welsh Government, the strategy for unpaid carers, to raise awareness of unpaid carers and early identification, and to encourage, therefore, more individuals to identify, to think. But what I'm thinking is why? Why would they want to? The second priority, oops, what's happening here now? Is improving carers assessments, and then looking at understanding and developing more training and resources. So that's my findings, really. So from the research, my objectives was looking at the life experiences and needs of individuals giving care, looking at the understanding and the meanings of that caring activity at different times in their journey, and the impact on the identity. Who am I? Who am I? Because lots and lots of individuals now have to adapt, change their lifestyles, their careers in order to give care. My research was conducted by looking at 13 rich, deep in narrative interviews, 11 females and 2 males in the age group 50 to 70. And from the grounded theory approach, we looked at the caring identity, reasons for caring, the change in relationship, the change also in the carer's life pattern, and then the impact of well-being. Really, really important. So why would we self-identify as an individual giving care? And this is what comes up over time. You know, I'm not a carer, I'm the partner, or I'm the daughter, I'm the son. Yeah, so, but why? Well, this is a passport, really. If we don't self-identify, we're not receiving the full benefits, the full allowance, the full care assessments, the package, care and support package. So therefore, we need to really immerse ourselves in the community out there to try and explain to people. We don't want to label, and that's the other thing. So people don't want this identity of a label. So in one way, perhaps this is what the research is telling us as well, the title of unpaid carers is kind of a block for some people. And perhaps we should look at another title of individuals giving care, and approach people in the GP surgery or at hospital or wherever they may be, where they are the individual giving care, asking them, do you support these individuals? Do you give care? And perhaps that will open the doorway, this passport to help. And as we see here, we understand ourselves, our identity, through the relationship with other people. So think about that as a question, asking people, who are you by now? Well, I'm looking after him. So then they would get the help. There's so many people slipping through the nets, and we need to grab hold of them and give them the right support and the right help at the right time, as early as possible. Oh, there we are. Sorry, there we are. Is this going out? Moving? Yeah. So the findings looked at the personal experiences of individuals giving care, looking at the role they have now, which may have changed, career moves, whatever. The relationship has changed, their lifestyle has changed, and also the well-being. Coming from the interviews, I was looking, you know, the carer was there and the cared for was there. And sometimes the individual giving care, the carer looked, and emotionally, the well-being, their appearance looked more frail and vulnerable than the cared for. And that tells us everything. back one. Oh, it's not going back. So in here, we've got the kaleidoscope. Sorry, I'll show you here. No, it's coming up. Sorry. The kaleidoscope of the carer identity model. And it's in English. Hold on. Here we are. So we've got the independent carer, the occasional carer, the constant carer, the immersed carer, the lost, hidden carer, and the disenfranchised carer. So these should not be seen as, categories, linear, following each other, but look at them as immersing into each other, relating to each other. Individuals giving care in these different typologies at different times in their journey, in their caring journey, if you like. And we look at these different typologies now. So the independent carer is an individual who gives care to an individual intermittently. So they are there, they pop over to see mother or a friend or an auntie or could be their partner, but they still continue to do their normal, everyday job, if you like, their lifestyle, their life pattern. So the caregiving doesn't disrupt normal life, yeah? However, it's still there in the back of their mind, yeah? Can't switch off. So they'll be phoning, texting, at lunchtime, after work, are you okay, mum? Or, just checking up. But they're quite independent. So that's one type. And this is what we're looking at. These people sometimes are not given any help either. So here we've got an example of an individual. You accept the situation, see how it is, and you don't feel guilty. If he falls, but I can't do anything about it. So this is kind of the independent carer. Then we've got the occasional drop-in carer. So here, there's a gradual pattern of dropping in established in the time. So there's a routine. So they'll pop in, not independently now. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the weekend. So it's a fluid shift. It's nuance, it's silence, but demanding, claiming more time. And it adjusts the individual's carer's life pattern. So they've got their work, they've got their family commitment, but now this occasional drop-in carer has also, it's like a sandwich carer. It's got another caring role on top of everything, and it's demanding more. So here we got an interview where they're saying, I was close to her, I didn't have to travel, I could keep an eye, so she'd be popping in occasionally. Then we've got the constant carer. And this most often is where we get people receiving the passport to get help, care and support, the assessments. So there's a definite increase in the amount and intensity of giving care. And constant caring is a definite pattern here to the individual. So here we've got the constant carer where there's a friction between, this is in Welsh, but I'll show you the English. Yeah. She hasn't been appreciating me. We had a fallout, she's saying 2 weeks ago. So the constant carer, 24/7 really, you've got mum saying, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And then the daughter saying here, what hurts me? She turned her head away and said, no, she didn't want the kiss. That hurts me. And I stayed away until she rang me. So here we see the pressures on the well-being and of the individual giving care, that mum is, because of the illness, really, and there's a friction. And then we've got the immersed carer, the individual here giving intensive, hard care nearly 24 hours a day throughout the year, continuously. Now, this kind of care may occur overnight due to an illness, accident, or it can gradually become the norm because of a long-term or terminal health condition. And this way of life defeats the old way. So you've got the immersed carer 24/7. This is it. So they've changed their career. They have to stop working. And now their identity now is the carer. So we've got the voice, and these are voices of actors here. Hopefully, is it coming up for you? No, the sound is not working, is it? Does the sound work for you? This month. Well, we can. So here we've got a voice as well. I'll go back one. Hold on. Does that go back? I don't think anybody realizes the stress the carers go through. And it's not just me, they're saying here, it's extremely stressful. There are times when I think, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to go there. But you go because you know it's better for them. It's hard, you know, very hard. But we're still here to tell the tale. So here there's the experience of a living, caring role where they're immersed in that caring role. Okay. And then you've got another immersed carer saying, it's a long day, not our life. It's Greta's life. We do what Greta wants to do. Going out and things like that. She knows the time and when we do it every day. So it's their life. My life has changed now. I have to do what Greta wants. And this is a very, very, you know, kind of common experience for many, many individuals giving care. The routine, the pattern. If you disrupt this pattern, then it disrupts their week, you know, and then that's not worth it. So you go with the flow. And then we've got another typology is the disenfranchised carer. This is an individual, or these are individuals giving care, but they're not acknowledged or recognised really in current social norms. So for example, in our community, if an individual who is the cared for goes into residential or hospital, nursing care homes, things like this, the individual giving care still visits every day, still goes there to feed, sometimes brings their meal because they say, oh, he likes lobscouse or whatever he enjoys or she enjoys. So, oh, they can't eat the hospital food, so I'll have to make it for them. And then they go there lunchtime, they go there for the supper and everything. So they're still helping out, but they're not recognised because now everybody's saying, oh, they're in hospital or residential nursing, yeah? But the stress and sometimes the pressure is worse because they have to travel there. And, you know, the pressure of knowing, are they okay? Because they're not home. And then there's also the social expectations and cultural expectations, the gender role model that women or the daughter take this over, the wife or the partner. Yeah, so that's one example. There's also the stigma sometimes of an individual, depending on the illness, hiding. So the individual giving care, hiding or not, you know, acknowledging what's happening, especially with something as individual living with dementia. And that they say that this is the illness that people, you know, are really, really scared of more than cancer at the moment because of the painful, it's so painful for family, friends, and of course the individual. So people hide that, they talk for them. And therefore, the disenfranchised carer here, they're not acknowledged, they're not giving any support, care, any help at all. So you've got one disenfranchised carer saying, well, the stigma, you know, if somebody's got cancer, not everybody tells you, she says here, but they're quite private. But it's cancer, I'm going through the treatments. But what she says here, if one's got dementia, lots of people think stigma is attached. They don't say anything. It's not, if they don't say anything, it's not happening. And then she recalls this because her mother, her husband, her stepfather, she used to talk for him. And like he said, because she says here, he had protected her, cushioned her. We didn't realize, we thought he was just very chatty, but he was covering over her. And that's what you see in a lot. You know, they answer questions for them. So if you ask the person with the dementia a question and the partner's there, it's often the partner who will answer, not to make the person feel inadequate because they can't answer or to show that there's nothing wrong. It's protection. So they're trying to protect their dignity. So please, we need to ask, these curious questions. Well, can I have 1 or 2 minutes alone with this individual receiving care so that they can get the right support and not hide and get the help needed? And then the last typology here is the lost hidden carer. And here people really falling through the nets because they see the caregiving task as an extension of that relationship. So they are saying, well, he's my partner, husband, wife, daughter, son, aunt, uncle, whoever, So it's family, it's that cultural tie, whatever it is, we've been socialized to think, no, I'm not the carer. So that, like we said here, socialize into the role of caring because of the family or whatever the cultural impact of that. And one lost hidden carer explaining here, he's my husband, isn't he? We're married. It's what you say, it's in sickness and in health. I've been with him for 54 years. That's how it is. He wouldn't let anyone else do it. And really, yes, I wouldn't like no one else to do it for him either. That's how it is, isn't it? So that's one view. And we hear this all the time. It echoes through the research. And then just to finish off on, hopefully the impact of this is creating the carer identity model toolkit. So here we've got a triangle of assessments where we are thinking of giving risk assessments, preventative help to individuals giving care. Then when things change, the recovery and maintenance assessments to maintain people to continue caring, getting the right support at the right time. And then the intensive assessment, which is looking at crisis and how we can approach proactively into a crisis so that there's action. And what we can see here in the toolkit is hopefully the typology, so the individual carer and the occasional carer would be in the assessments right at the bottom, where we're doing the preventative work. Then we've got the constant carer, the immersed carer, where you do the maintenance and recovery model assessments. So you maintain them and keep them strong so that they're able to continue to care. And then you've got the disenfranchised carer, the hidden carers, where would those be? Could be that they are also being given targeted help so that they don't come to the crisis point. So we are trying to reach out to these people before the crisis comes and then doing more preventative assessments. So that's the aim, really. As we say here, they're not typologies, they're moving. People can move from being independent on one day, and then it could be really constant carer overnight, depends on the situation. And hopefully, like the slide is gone, networking, that's my references. That's my main thing, is trying to network and getting this research out and getting your views and you telling me, well, no, that's not right. Fantastic. Right. Let's move on and change and further develop research. So I'm really looking forward to getting your views on all of this. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Diolch yn fawr. I didn't prepare you for this, so sorry for jumping with the question at the end.
It's fine.
I was wondering if there's anything that the research, it's really fascinating, by the way, just to kind of, I think a lot of people that are watching this will identify either themselves or someone that know or they work with as one of those carers. It was probably quite obvious in the media. And like you said, that dynamics might change over time. You know, someone who is it might be a drop-in carer could very quickly and without any kind of warning become an emergency carer overnight.
Yeah, definitely.
Does the research say anything about how people should, what processes or you know, what techniques there might be out there to engage with different sets of carers? Because you know, they are very different in some ways. Like I said, you can move them, but there's anything in the research that says how, how generally those groups of carers like to be communicated with or helped and supported? Is there anything around that at the moment that you guys are working on?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I think it's a matter of approaching and asking the right question. You know, like you're saying here, the occasional carer may think, oh, I'm not really a carer. Like an immersed carer would say, yes, I can't cope, or whatever. So really being curious and asking, are you looking after somebody? Are you giving care? So asking those, kind of using those terms more than the label, I think. And I think that goes with preventative work, which goes with the initial assessments at the bottom. So hopefully those are the kind of training and resources we hope to get out there to social care, GP surgeries, to the hospital ward, accidents, emergencies, even when you call 999, so that the people who are there right on the spot saying, are you giving care to this person? Yes, well, there we are. That's the kind of tick. We don't want the label, but then you've got passports for help. And I think that's, kind of dispelling the myth, oh, I'm not carer, I don't want to be labelled like that. And nobody wants to be labelled, But again, people need that support and help before it comes to crisis. So preventative work will save the money, governments, Welsh governments, and also enable them to stay at home more, so that we don't kind of rip families apart. If they get the right support and care, the right time before things worse, hopefully people can stay at home, and that's what people are telling us that they want. And that's why they hide it sometimes, especially individuals living with dementia or, kind of a stigma. They don't want anybody else to ruin. They live in this kind of bubble, which is kind of hope and everything will be okay. It's kind of hopefully, if we don't talk about it, it's going to be okay. So, I think that's the main thing.
That's fascinating. Thank you, Rhian. And I suppose last question for me would be, if people are watching this and want to learn a little bit more about the work you're doing, or potentially get involved in the future, how would they go about doing that?
Yes, if they can email me or yourself, Josh, and you can forward any questions, any email. I would love to hear from you, really, really, and to work in the future to further, kind of hopefully try this assessment out and try that typology out in your teams, in your area, and you can tell me, yes, it has helped or not. And now we are asking the right questions. I think that's the approach is so much, kind of important, so important that we approach people in the right way, asking the right questions early enough. And I don't think we do that. We're afraid of asking and thinking, oh, we leave it, leave the status quo. But if you don't ask, we can't help. So we have to ask these difficult conversations, really. And nobody wants to put their hand up and say, I want help. But it's not a matter of help, it's your right. It's your right. And that will keep families together. And that's the main thing, keeping people together where they want to be.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be lots of people who watch this and go, yes, that seems like a really interesting bit of work that I'd like to be part of, or I'd like to hear a little bit more about. So happy to forward on your details to everyone, and like I said, we're going to have the PowerPoint out to everyone who's going to be watching this as well. Diolch yn fawr, Rhian. Thank you so much.
Croeso, welcome. Thank you, Josh. Fantastic. Thank you.
And we'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you for the opportunity. Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.